Greetings, Internet! It's been a while. So this may sound sudden, but I want to ask you an intimate question. Have you ever wanted to, say, beat someone? I'm talking go all in, grab your nearest Perry Ellis trademark men's belt, and sit down politely as you lecture for hours about their dead brain bullshit. No? Then joke's on you, I don't have any brain cells left after watching Talentless Nana. Initially. Here's the dealio. I believe that when experiencing an anime, all personal actions and reactions to said show, no matter how outlandish or doo-doo garbage wrong, are valid. Because that is how we otaku folk come to terms with our own brands of enjoyment. Talentless Nana is a supernatural, psychological cereal bowl of emotions that's one part Gaten Alice, one part amateur murder mystery novel you watch some edgy teen read in middle school, and one part high-tech supercomputer ran only by one singular potato battery. Upon the first hour after finishing all 13 episodes, presumably, I thought it was a dumpster fire that frustrated the living orifices out of me. Now, to be clear, this was not my first small-town murder hysteria-esque anime where I know some characters will be double-dipping into that crazy juice. Or that I don't know the plot's difficulty curve goes out of whack like trying to play Mabinogi in current year. Just come on! I can barely do most of the events as is, and bosses kill me in only a few hits! What the fuck is wrong with you? All of that is just part of the scene. The finesse, I guess. But I was not having it with the other nonsense on display as Nana just kept seemingly and blatantly getting away with stuff left and right from the viewer's perspective. I remember constantly pausing each episode, not believing how many of the characters kept figuring out early on her schemes, but refusing to, tell the class for their own reasons. Oh god, here we go. Tsunekichi saga especially pissing me off at the time because he had solid proof. And instead of doing something, intelligent with that information, decided to do the tropey thing of trying to corner a female character for naughty bits. And don't get me started on Michiru. I had such a tough time watching her in the beginning. Episode 6, Jesus fucking Christ. How can you just stare at the photo and not suspect even a hint of anything sussy-wussy, man? Speaking of episode 6, it also had a pet peeve I disliked of reminding me, the viewer sitting on my derriere, that if Yuka had just attacked Nana outright instead of humoring her own ego, she would have killed her. That's right, by this point I stopped rooting for the main character to win because, well, my emotions were heightened, I was dead on arrival in intellectual thought, and my mac and cheese was running out. I admit, I was too cranky with Nana's smug getaways and overall abundance of moments on display here. By the end of the run, I was pissed. So you know what I did after that? I read the manga where it left off. Yeah, so here's your daily dose of hypocrisy. For all my whining and face value evaluation, you'd think I would hate this show enough to put it down, make the video as is, and wait for the hopefully respectable rebuttal from people more into the show than I. However, one thing I can admire about the potential quality of an anime is how its series is able to hook the viewer, i.e. my dumbass. Sometimes it's done with class, honor, cuteness, trashy fortitude, or in my case, enraged intrigue. But the point is, no matter what, a successful show, in my opinion, is a captivating one. I mean, it's not rocket science, people. You jimmy the vibes, you get them greenbacks. Anywho, after reading a few chapters and getting a good night's rest, having now time to process the visual meal I was fed, I came to the conclusion that Talentless Nana is an okay romp of adrenaline and mind games, if you allow yourself to look beyond its angst. Thinking with context now, I enjoy how the show respects the viewer's intelligence in giving us the opportunity to analyze each character interaction. Talentless Nana is not really about what the characters do, but why they do it, and when looking at each individual episode, you can find hindsight peppered around to what is really at play here. Episode 1 is a great introductory example of this, as it attempts to pull a bait and switch by showing us a potential main character in Nano. However you pronounce that. With his generic look, origin story, and clever namesake, one could presume without looking at the show's poster that he will be the focus. Only to smack his beta butt aside to highlight our real antagonist turned protagonist, Nana Hiragi. You know what, I give up. A quote-unquote talentless person who has infiltrated an island full of talented supernatural high schoolers to murder them at the behest of some government organization, on top of trying to fulfill a noble vendetta against the talented after the death of her parents. Because reasons. Again, in my initial reactions, I found her smug, because can you blame me? The "I'ma beat y'all" mentality against a bunch of kids who for the most part are just supers with no guidance feels immoral. Why off them for things they could potentially do instead of taking the time to foster their talents for good, even if it's futile? Oh, wait a minute! That's the point of the show! It's a murder mystery thriller from the perspective of the murderer. That's pretty badass, I'll say. So of course it'll be an immoral character study on the surface. The show knows Nana's decision making is very questionable even for her. However, once I broke down her actions, I understood why the anime showed me her killings first before introducing her inevitable tragic backstory. You know what? Fuck it, I'm using the meme. Her actions have layers. Heck, all of the characters have layers. Even Tsunekiji's creepy self can be explained as someone who's been given a power that removes any sense of hope for the future. That's kind of important for a kid. How would you feel if you had dream photos displaying your own death that you know is going to happen and is unavoidable? You would feel that nothing in life matters, so why the fuck even try? Does not mean I take back my desire to punch him across Texas with his slimy attitude because I want to take advantage of no law enforcement to forcefully woohoo my classmate. It's a trope that I'm tired of predicting in thriller anime. Seriously, does this happen in real life? Maybe, but no sir, I do not like it. I'm sorry, I'm rambling again. Let's move on. For the Michiru fans out there, here are my real thoughts on her. I understand her role in the story now as a crucial factor into helping Nana become a better person, but I still do not like her overly kind nature that allows her to forgive even the scummiest of people with no questions asked. Maybe that's a fault on me for seeing a bit of myself in her as I've been hurt by others taking advantage of me when I just wanted to be kind. It's not that I don't believe anyone can't be that kind without the strength to do so, I just both respect and worry about these types of people. Circling back to Nana. As you unravel her whys and hows, you see that under all of that killing intent, military practice, and angst is a little girl who just wants solace from that fateful night with her parents. Why it happened, and if she can forgive herself. Also, I want to make it clear that even in my rage reactive state, I never thought of her as a Mary Sue, as I've seen some people claim on review boards. It's kind of hard to be that when every new case involves a kid with powers specifically built against her wishes to keep her job going smoothly. Kyoya especially keeps her on her toes with the many "aw shit" moments he brings to her pink, edgy noggin. By the way, I love this character. He is my second favorite behind Jin, who I will not get into for those wishing to read the manga, which, by the way, doesn't make people come off as complete idiots. But I would just say here, damn man, you could not catch a break. Always coming so close yet just missing the mark. I had a fun time guessing what missing link Kyoya will miss that time on another edition of Sherlock Immortal and the Mysteries of Friendship. Okay, here's where we are. Initially, I wanted to trash the show. Now I find it pretty kino and the manga an even deeper feast for the mind. Though at the end of it all, I don't want to continue this series. And to be fair, I'm pretty caught up with the manga at this point, so this is a large pill for me to swallow. Here's why. One big theme I took away from Talentless Nana is its attentiveness to how people process information and how it affects them. A line I remember quoted in Nana was, "People do not believe the truth. People believe what they want to believe." From simple persuasion to a crowd of high schoolers to coming to terms with emotional trauma, I thought this story was going to be an over-exaggeration of hysteria and dread that would be easier for me to detach myself of any meaningful investment. But no, as I recontextualized the story, I found myself confiding with Nana and her classmates more than I gave the series credit for. Once the adults of the universe especially become more active in the plot, you see how well written these conflicts are when it comes to the manipulation of others and the manipulation of the self. One of the main villains is just so good at manipulation that it's scary, because no one character's motives are one-dimensional. How they choose to make conflict for Nana and the students hits different once you're invested. An investment I just don't think I want to be a part of anymore. Now, it's not the only thing that makes me want to drop the series where I am. The other factor being the current arc in the manga in general, heading in a direction I don't like. But all in all, I can tell that my anime preferences have changed once again since the beginning of the year. I've become more sensitive to certain topics, and that's okay. With how I want my life to be going forward, I'm paying more attention to my mental health. As long as I'm still watching anime in general, that's coolio with me. So TLDL, give the show a chance if it's up your alley, don't be afraid to dip out of a series that's rubbing your brain the wrong way, and never ever leave your stove on at night. You could wake up to a big